Greetings, everyone. Chris Gingras here, actually coming to you live from Daytona Beach. Um, it's always, again, a pleasure to share with you these segments on the 90-day run that we are actually applying today. And what I'm going to be doing today is I'm actually going to be sharing my screen so you can share some of my notes because I'm not going to use uh, my cell phone live to share some of the details simply because some of those things I haven't done yet, but I intend to. But one thing I'd like to share with you as a tip, whenever I need something or need to learn something, that it is to fix something on my car or my fridge or some plumbing or whatever the situation is, or learning how to do Instagram or learning how to do a live on Facebook or whatever the situation is, one of the best tool I can recommend to you is actually YouTube. And on YouTube, it's just amazing how many video you will find on a particular topic, and it will walk you through step by step on exactly how to go about what you're trying to do. So this is what I recommend. So it's just a tip that I wanted to share with you that I have been utilizing. If I have absolutely no idea, like for example, I was using Photoshop to do some pictures. I know it has nothing to do with the training today. I'm just using an example, things that are situations that I needed or help that I needed with situation that I have absolutely no clue how to even begin doing. And in 5 minutes, I followed some young 12-year-old or some person who's been doing this portion of their lives, and I've learned how to do certain things. So when you go to YouTube, what you do on the search bar within the YouTube environment, simply say, how do I, and then whatever it is that you're looking for. Okay. So for example, in this case, the topic of today it's about telling stories, but also doing interviews and interviewing a minimum of 3 to 4 people. And the fact here is here, let me switch over to my screen here. Okay, so if you look at my notes here, again, this is day 44. So what happens here is we're going to be talking about Facebook and Instagram. And the reality is that if you use Facebook, it's a bit more complicated. For example, there's a few ways you can go about it. For example, right now I'm broadcasting to you utilizing a tool called ecamm, which I know you've heard me mentioning a few times. Maybe others have done that too. Okay, and I'll talk about that a little bit. And the other one is StreamYard. Okay, now I have never used StreamYard, but I will walk you through the process and I will share with you some of the details on my notes that I took here. And again, pardon me if there is some typos. You know, when Frazer Brookes speaks, he speaks 100 miles an hour. So you try to take notes, and sometimes, you know, you may have a bit of a spelling here and there, and I didn't really do a spell check. I'm just actually going right through here and sharing to you my notes so you can actually have some visual. But we're going to be talking about Facebook and Instagram utilizing, for example, on the side of Facebook, is ecamm.live and StreamYard. And we'll talk about this, okay? And the other thing we're going to be talking about also is how to do it on Instagram. And Instagram, it's actually a lot easier to do. It's a lot simpler. But let's start with Facebook here. So one thing I would suggest is you may want to organize before you actually go ahead and start your session. You may want to discuss the idea with 3 associates, or maybe even your upline, maybe some customers, and just kind of line them up, letting them know that at a certain time you're going to be doing a live and you'd like to invite them to interview them. And an interview is really considered as a minimum of 3 people. It's you and 2 people, 2-person, okay? So the fact here is, if you consider, for example, using, let me go switch back to my screen here. If you consider using ecamm, okay, ecamm is wonderful, but it's also designed for the Mac. Okay, now StreamYard.com, I'm assuming it's generic, so I'm going to focusing on StreamYard. But one thing with ecamm, what I recommend if you want to learn, if you happen to have a Mac, this is what I did. I went to YouTube and how to do an interview using ecamm. You are going to have so many videos. Pick one. Try to find something that's within at least delayed maybe 6 months at the most. not more than 6 months. And the reason why is because features changes all the time in software, especially today. It changes regularly. I think ecamm sent an update about 3 times in the past 2 weeks, right? So things changes all the time. So I try to find within a month, within 2 months, but sometimes you can find even within a year because a lot of major features are not going to change. And then watch the videos. How do I initiate an interview on Facebook Live using ecamm? Okay, and I'm telling you, it's the information will be there, and then you watch the video, and then you pause it, and you try it, and you do these steps until you figure it out. Now let's focus on StreamYard. What's really important is one is you have to be live. Okay. So as you're doing a live right now, the first thing it's going to ask you as you start StreamYard. Now, I've never used StreamYard, but I'm going to walk you through it here. Is it's going to ask you for your mic. It's going to confirm that your microphone is on. And as you know, today, every time there's access to anything that has videos, microphones, or data, you always have to approve it, right? And then it's going to same thing with the camera. Make sure the camera is on. It's going to ask you to approve it. You go ahead and follow through with that. Then you'll have to invite people to your link. Okay, and it's going to provide you a link that you can pass them to them. They will click that link, and then it will join you into the event. And what happens over here is that when you click the link, they're not actually live. They're actually going to be all there listed. And what you need to do is once you press live, then in this case, once you've selected them all, then they're all going to be there. Okay, so they're going to be kind of coming up in that format over here. And then from there, they'll be there. And then you'll have you, and then you'll have your party. So it's actually a really cool thing. I think it'll be like in this format over here, where it'll be there, you'll be there, and then you'll have your guests over here. And then one of the things that's important to understand is on the subject, when you're actually posting the actual purpose of your live, mention the names of the guests that are going to be there, okay? And I wouldn't worry so much about the order at the moment, but just mention their names, okay, on the actual title. And because the software, same thing with ecamm, and ecamm, there's a way that they can actually see you. And this is if you actually go to ecamm.live, and then Facebook is going to say, do you agree to share your information with the software? You say yes. And then from there, whenever you actually give a thumbs up or a heart or a comment, then I'll see you here. I'll see your comment coming in live. Okay. Now, back to StreamYard. In this particular case, what will happen here is their names. Once you're done doing your live, okay, what's going to happen is that you're going to be able to select their names and actually share the actual live in their own profile. And what's really interesting with this is that, for example, as they start having their own audience, their own audience are going to see that. So what's happening is your exposure becomes a lot larger. And it's very interesting because this is the whole purpose of increasing your audience. And that's what it's all about, right? Is to get a following and increasing your following. And I can tell you that interviews is some of the most powerful things that I have ever intended to do. Now, I didn't do it in this fashion, but I have done this before, for example, in Zoom, and interviewing, for example, our CEO, interviewing some associates, some leaders. And it's amazing the amount of interaction that you get when actually you do interviews. People are curious to hear what others are saying. And some of the things that examples of topic, one thing you could say here is, let's see here. For example, how do we get connected, right? How do we connect? How do we meet? How did you and I meet? Right? And let them expand. And very often, I think I shared that in one of the posts, is as they start sharing content, it's really interesting, but there's going to be more information that is going to be overlapping that will actually increase the subject or add content to the subject to expand on. And that's what's really interesting. Another question you can ask is, how long have you been using the product? So for example, let's say you want to get people to pay attention on, let's say, the Celgivity. And you want to get some attention around the Celgivity, the fact that you are selling the Celgivity through your network marketing channel or your well, the link that we share there went over my head. So the fact is that if you want people to be aware of what it is you do and what it is you consume or why you're consuming it, these interviews are absolutely amazing. And one of the things is let them share their story, and then you can collaborate with it. And then you can turn around and ask the same question to the other person, right? So that's one thing. Another thing you can say is, why did you start using product X? Whatever product. Why did you start using it? So these are really good questions to initiate content and conversation that could lead to an interested party that may want to say, I'd like to try this. I'm having this issue. I'm having this problem. And that person was just sharing something that they're dealing with, and just be very careful again by never making any medical claims. Okay. The fact here is it's a very important thing that you stay within the generic context on sharing the benefits and not the science so much as in comparing it with diseases and things like this. That's when you start getting into problems. Okay. So what am I saying here? The KSK. It's what I call it, the sandwich effect. Right? You always give it a compliment, criticism, and compliment. And these are things that after the call is done, and that's one of the things that Frazer could do. It's, let's say someone is sharing a testimony or sharing information. What I found as you mentor people, as you're helping your team to evolve and get better, I call it a sandwich effect. He called it the KSK. Okay? Kiss, slap, kiss. I think the sandwich sounds better, right? The top, the bread, is a compliment. The inside is the criticism, the suggestion, what it is you feel we can improve upon, and again, finish with a compliment. But the fact here, I'm not saying you do this on your interview live. What I'm saying is after the interview is done, it's a really good opportunity to mentor your downlines, okay, your team members. Now, that's one of the things he was talking about. Now, as you can see here, he started to expand. And one of the things that he was sharing is, now that was on Facebook, using Facebook Live and interviewing, you kind of need third-party software. But Instagram, it's all within the software. So what's interesting is on Instagram, you just basically go live, okay? And I suggest you practice it. You go live. And then when you go live, there's a little icon, okay? And you click right over here. You can see here on the display. Okay, and then you type in the title, okay? And what's really interesting is that the nice thing with Instagram is you don't need to tag them. It will happen automatically, okay? So as you select this, what's going on is the names are going to start appearing. You can click on some of them, and actually they will appear, and you list of people. And again, always remember, because I may not be clear with some of you that have absolutely no clue how to do this. I want to go back to what I said when I started the call. Go to YouTube and simply, how do I do an interview Instagram Live? Or how do I do an Instagram Live interview? Search, see what comes up. And that person is going to walk you through all the details, because they probably might have done it 1,000 times. And then really, I've never done it myself, but I intend to. In fact, it's something that I definitely want to add to my tools of things to do. But the thing that's really nice over here is with Instagram is your followers. You see, when you go live, your followers are going to be notified that you're going live. So if, let's say you invite Jane, and Jane is actually also part of the crew that's going to be part of the interview, her audience are also going to be notified that she's going live. And this goes on for, the other persons. If let's say there's two of you and you're the third person, okay? And I think there's a maximum of 4. That's, I think, the maximum you can do with Instagram. And one of the things that's important to do here is to repeat the process and to just keep trying. And folks, it's very possible that when you start, you may not have anybody to interview. And there's also the tips and tricks that you can follow through. I'm not getting into right now, but I suggest go to YouTube. Do a search. I know I'm repeating myself on this because it is so amazingly helpful, right? How do I do an Instagram Live interview? How do I do an interview on Instagram Live? And it's just, again, it's all going to be explained. The point of this session here today is we want you to do a group live with 2 or 3 other people. Okay? And again, one of the things that we could suggest you to ask in your interview is, you said, what are 3 majors? What are 3 major reasons why you chose to do Max? You said yes to changing your life. Can you share why? Why did you share? Why did you say yes to be part of this company? And let them share, because what they're sharing could actually reach out. And remember, every single guest of yours also are going to be notified from their followers that they're going live. So this could really go viral over time. And what's very important with Instagram and Facebook Live and all of these is repetition, is to repeat. I know lately, maybe some of you have noticed, I started to do more lives, right? And I'm enjoying it. And I'm getting more and more comfortable getting in front of the camera. And now what's important here. Here's another question. 3 major reasons why you said yes to network marketing. We know that for some folks, network marketing is a bit of a stigma. I know it's an education process, but for some people, they require a bit more data. And someone could actually share one of the reasons why they chose network marketing. See, I see network marketing as a way to liberate people from the corporate world, which has chained people to be dependent on that environment. And it's very, very annoying, if you know what I mean. Network marketing will actually free you from that. It gives you the opportunity to live the life that you want to live and not the life that you have to live, because you're dependent on your boss and a job and economy of that environment, of that ecosystem. With network marketing, you can expand. And there's so many different options, especially that's the word I was looking for, the affiliate marketing, right? So Max has 2 different approach. You can build a network marketing, which is absolutely what I love to do. But there's another aspect, is the affiliate aspect of things, where you can live anywhere in the world where Max is not even operating, and you can actually build the United States, because the affiliate program is available in the United States, and they will pay you through an account through PayPal. So there's so many things that are out there, right? Why am I part of network marketing? Why did you choose network marketing? Another one is, what are the 3 major reasons why you're loving this product? And let them share. This content can completely change the faith of your business. But think that something I'd like to finish with as we end. It's important that you understand that when you are new, let me just get rid of the screen right now. Okay. When you are new and you're starting something for the first time, give yourself a chance to learn. Give yourself a chance to evolve. Give yourself a chance to actually improve while you are actually attempting to do these exercises. And those of you that will not only win but thrive are those of you that are willing to get uncomfortable and try new things. So in summary, here's the thing. I understand that in some areas I may not have been 100% clear, but I'm telling you, do not underestimate the power of YouTube. Go to youtube.com. How, on the search portion within the YouTube environment, how do I, whatever it is that you're looking for. In this case, how do I do a Facebook Live interview using ecamm? Another one, how do I do an interview using Instagram Live? And you're going to have hundreds, if not thousands of videos that are going to appear. And here's a tip. When you select a video to watch, look for the most amount of views, and also videos that are not too old, that are the most recent, and watch them. And as you are watching the video, pause the video, do the work on your phone, and then play and go to the next segment. And this is how I learned everything I need to know. People think I know everything about computers. Once upon a time, I did not. I just went there, I search, I apply, and now it's part of my knowledge. Folks, my name is Chris. I hope that this was helpful. And if it is, just share some feedback. And if you need some information, I always go back to my comments. If I click like, it's because I noticed and I saw you. If I put a heart, it's because you actually took the time to put legitimate comment. And then I will respond to these comments. If you have questions or anything you want, we will respond. And do that for all the attendees that are actually presenting. We have Anne Turnbull, who's doing absolutely amazing presenting, who's a Crown Diamond. We have Dr. James, who's a Crown Diamond, who's doing amazing presenting the information. We have Webmaster, who's a Diamond, who's just an amazing, brilliant young man, and is also obviously my wife. That's also amazing. That's going to share her thoughts and her views and her heart as she share. And of course, I'm going to do everything I can to give you what I have. And even if I don't have the answers, I will give you some direction for you to find the answers, as I just did right now. Have yourself a wonderful day, and looking forward to a next session together. Bye for now.